Greetings, and welcome back to the MCOC Encyclopedia. Today, we'll be continuing our journey into Act 6, covering all of the easiest paths. If multiple paths are an option in a quest, I will cover them all. Remember, these are just what I found easier, and your roster and experiences may vary. So let's dive in. Act 7, Chapter 1, Quest number 6, Remix. Time for some more of those weird bosses that we'll never see again. The path we'll be taking in this quest is up and right to Ebony Moor. Here we'll find Clapback, Eat Crow, and 15% Buffet. Clapback and Buffet we've seen before, though Eat Crow is a new node. Clapback means that whenever you apply a poison, shock, bleed, incinerate, or plasma debuff, the same debuff is applied to you. If you're clever, you can use this to your advantage by bringing in champions like Torch, Sunspot, or Black Widow Clairvoyant, as they can actually benefit from having their own debuffs applied to them. But if you don't have any of these champions, then the best thing to do is just ignore it. Don't use damage over time debuff champions, and you've got nothing to worry about. 15% Buffet means that whenever we trigger a buff on ourselves, it's instantly nullified, and the defender will heal for 15% of their max health. This then goes on cooldown for 7 seconds. This is a serious amount of health and something that we really need to consider when looking at this quest. And finally, Eat Crow. Science champions are fully immune to the effects of Nullify, and whenever they are immune to Nullify or a poison effect, they gain a stacking 80% Fury for 6 seconds. This includes the Nullify from the Buffet node, meaning all we have to do is stack up on Science champions, and suddenly that isn't an issue. This path starts with Ebony Moor and then Mr. Sinister, who are some tricky defenders, but the rest of the path is fairly simple. There's a full video on the channel all about Moor, and with a full team of Science champions, he shouldn't be an issue for long. Mr. Sinister is a bit tougher, particularly since his buff. This is not a fight to try and use a Clapback champion for, though, as you could before his buff, as any damaging debuffs on him will be converted to degens when he throws them back onto you with his special 1. Pre-buff, he'd just throw them back as they were, so we almost had an inbuilt version of Clapback. Now, they're converted to degens, making this a non-option. He also can't have his regeneration rate modified, so no reversing any regen in this fight. A dedicated Mr. Sinister counter is a good option here. Practice these two fights and only commit to the path once you can get these two down pretty easily. Remember, energy comes back, revives don't. And if you're finding this video helpful, please wait for the energy to come back on that like button. The boss we'll be facing in this quest is Spider Witch, a combination of Spider-Gwen and Scarlet Witch. In terms of abilities, she basically just has the evade of Spider-Gwen and the random effect Sig of Scarlet Witch. There's not a huge amount to worry about in her Sig, apart from the poisons. These will eat you alive, and unless you have a really big health pool, you aren't going to be able to willpower heal through them either. Even if you could, a second poison or a heal block that she can also trigger, and you're done for. So a poison immune here for sure. For the nodes, we have Backblast, Staggering Beauty, and Special Chaos Inversion, as well as the prowess nodes that we saw in the last quest. Just like those fights as well, Spider Witch doesn't have a special 3, so no need to worry about that. Backblast we saw all the way back in the 6.2.2 with the Mr. Sinister quest. It will double your crit damage, but if you hit for more than 5% of Spider Witch's max health, you will take an Incinerate, dealing that much damage. Based on Spider Witch's max health, this comes out to about 29,300 health. So make sure you keep each hit below this, and you'll be fine. Getting 4 or more guaranteed crits will also trigger these Incinerates. Node number 2 is Staggering Beauty. Being close to Spider Witch places stagger debuffs on you, and staying far away will cause them to fall off. Very simple, and as long as you don't rely on buffs, you'll be absolutely fine. Free willpower healing from these as they are debuffs, as long as she hasn't triggered a heal block. Finally, Special Chaos Inversion. During Spider Witch's special attacks only, your controls will be inverted. Unless she has procced her unblockable, or has a big stack of prowess, it's probably best to just stick to the special one and to block it. You really can take this fight with many champions. Don't hit too hard to avoid backblast, don't rely on buffs, and block the special one if she has no prowess. Only hit her whilst she is stunned, and the evade also isn't a problem. Even though she might seem quite simple, don't underestimate this boss. If those prowess stack up even a little, even blocked specials will really hurt, and if you take them directly, and reverse controls will make this much more likely, they'll probably one-shot you. No reverse control immune champion is also a very good option for this fight. Mr. Sinister could probably do it, but no one else I can really think of. So, for our team. Well, we want to stack up on science champions for Eat Crow, and they will also work very well against the boss, as long as they are poison immune. That just leaves a Mr. Sinister counter, and we're good to go. Warlock is my go-to Mr. Sinister counter, so now for some science champions. And you really could bring many here, but I'll be using Spider-Ham, Titania, Torch, and the Overseer. But if you were to use Captain America, Infinity War, Hulk, Void, and She-Hulk, you'd probably do just as well. I wouldn't use Hulk for the boss though, as he might hit too hard and get incinerated. Fairly soon after this video goes out, I will try and get up a short commentated video of me going through the path with the exact team I suggest above. It will be much more relaxed, but should hope to give you some more insight into how I look at getting around these issues. I will also try and answer any popular questions from the comments of this video and that video, so please leave yours down below. As always, remember that this is story content, so it won't be going anywhere anytime soon. If you get stuck here and find yourself spending lots of resources, stop and focus on something else. The monthly event quests and side quests are a great place to pick up more materials, shards and units, as are battlegrounds and the arena. So, that's it. Everything you need to know to clear all of 7.1.6. I have a whole list of things in the work, so please subscribe to make sure you don't miss out. I do also have a Discord server, a great place to get specific advice, make suggestions for future video topics, and as long as I'm awake, I do my best to be there as much as possible. If you have any questions, please do leave them down below, and please do all the YouTube stuff. Thank you, and I will see you next time.